It's diner time.
Now open really late. A car wreck can change your life in an instant, and what you do after that can affect your life for years to come.
After a car wreck, you need help. Call George St. Injury Lawyers at all nines. We have the experience to help you get the money that you deserve.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Was a gun pulled during a fight at Aiken High School? We're on your side with what law enforcement wants to know.
If there was a gun involved, we want to know that. We haven't interviewed anybody that's seen a gun.
Just 24 hours after that fight broke out at Aiken High School, there are lots of questions and concerns. Did anyone fire a gun? Was a student stabbed?
The rumors are certainly swirling. Investigators are continuing to comb through school surveillance video, but the Department of Public Safety says they need witnesses to speak up about what they saw. Our Wrdw joins us live in the newsroom. So what else did the Department of Public Safety say about this investigation?
Well, officers say that the 6 students who were charged were just from the outside portion of the fight. They're expecting more arrests to come. Now, for officers on scene yesterday, they say this could have been much worse than what it was. And they say it's really concerning to see this already happening this early in the school year.
At Aiken High School, calls for help came from the only full-time school resource officer on site for a large fight with, quote, a bunch of students.
And I can say if the school resource officer would not have been at that school yesterday, it would have been a lot worse.
Within a minute and a half, Captain Martin Sawyer says several officers showed up at the school to help.
We do a lot of training to plan for stuff like this.
Captain Sawyer says safety and getting the situation under control is their #1 priority. Rumors spread quickly about students being stabbed and a gun being pulled during the fight.
The interviews we've done, nobody has told us they saw a gun. We haven't found a gun. We haven't found anybody that tells us they've seen a gun. They did find a knife later on in the area of the fight. Nobody was stabbed, nobody was cut. We don't know if it was involved in the fight or if somebody just threw it down.
Officers say don't trust information on social media unless it comes from law enforcement or the school district.
We will sit down and do a debriefing on this situation to see what we done right, see what we could do better, and we'll meet with the school district and we'll do a debriefing together. I know parents are concerned, but we feel like they're safe in the schools in the city of Aiken.
Now, police say the biggest thing they need right now is for parents and students to speak up about what happened. If you saw something or know anything about that, reach out to law enforcement. We did reach out to the school system to see if they have any comment on the situation, but we have not gotten that back yet.
So, Will, they're saying they need parents to reach out. What's the best way to get in touch with public safety?
Yeah, the best way to get in touch with public safety is to simply just call Aiken Department of Public Safety. They will answer the phone, and then they will direct you to the proper officer that you need to talk to with this investigation.
Okay, Will, thanks for those updates.
To weather now, the rain and cooler temps are gone. It's a tax-free weekend for school shopping in South Carolina, even with 6 of our 7 local school districts already back. That includes Aiken, Bamberg, Saluda, Allendale, McCormick, and Edgefield.
Some parents already shopped for the school year. For others, they only bought the necessities to try and save money on those big-ticket items this weekend. Our Audrey Dickerber is live at the Walmart in Aiken. She says parents are a little frustrated.
You know, tax-free weekend came the same weekend it always does, and I actually went into some of the stores and they weren't as busy as you'd think. I spoke to some parents from Aiken that said tax-free weekend came a few weeks too late. Tax-free weekend came a little late this year to Aiken County school parents.
If it would have happened like 2 weeks ago, I myself probably wouldn't even need the help that I got.
So they already bought almost everything they need at a hefty price.
I spent close to $200 with just 2 kids alone, and one's in 4th grade and one's in 1st grade, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous for the pricing. Pricing is already high and outrageous. I mean, this definitely would have helped. Definitely.
I asked online to see when parents were buying school supplies in Aiken County. Almost all of them said they bought them before this weekend, but if tax-free was earlier,
I definitely would have waited.
But parents wanted to make sure their kids were prepared for school.
I want to have them prepared. As a mother, you always want your kids to be prepared for school. It's like a thing that constantly runs in the back of your mind.
Next year, she hopes she doesn't have to choose.
Give parents time to kind of get it in, and like they should have done this first. It would have definitely helped a lot of parents out.
35 school districts out of 73 in South Carolina actually start before tax-free weekend. Parents told me that they hope tax-free weekend starts a little earlier next year so everyone has a chance to participate.
Maybe they will adjust that calendar for next year, Audrey. A short school year with a lot of kids going back to school in July this summer. You can also shop tax-free, by the way, online. The South Carolina Department of Revenue says check with your local retailer, but you do have to ship those items to a South Carolina address.
New tonight, one of the 5 suspects involved in the death investigation of John Belote is out of jail. Cody Wooten facing charges in connection to the removal of human remains. He was released on a $5,000 bond. The 4 other suspects named in this case, they're still in custody.
New tonight, Burke County Sheriff Alfonso Williams will meet with the full Board of Commissioners there Tuesday to go over his department's budget crisis. He says a citizens group raised some money to help pay the salaries for his deputies. That's according to a letter the sheriff sent to the county manager. Sheriff Williams goes on to say, in part, citizens are concerned about their safety, and they're asking the issue to be presented to commission to adopt a resolution accepting this donated money. We're going to keep you updated on this new information as we learn more.
Construction crews are laying the foundation for the new public safety building in North Augusta, and some say it's long overdue since the current building is almost 70 years old. As Taylor Martin explains, the long wait has also changed the price tag for this project.
When the project was proposed in 2017, it was set to cost $10 million. Now, an additional $15 million later, the North Augusta Public Safety Facility is on its way to being up.
It's a project the North Augusta Department of Public Safety says is long overdue.
Of course, there were some delays at the beginning, but now things are really taking off pretty quick. And as you can see behind me, they're steady working, and you can actually start to see what looks like a building coming up.
Out with the old and in with the new.
Well, the current building that we've been in now, we've been in since 1954, so it's about 70 years old, and it's got a lot of issues with it now that are really unfixable.
But why the change in price? According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, it's the after effects of COVID. This chart shows costs of construction materials like plywood, iron, and lumber started rising just 1 year after city leaders approved the original budget. Despite the price tag, leaders say it's worth it for the city.
It does kind of put us closer to the other side of the city, so yeah, it should help us with some response times also.
Faster response times for city and department that keeps on growing.
We're outgrowing everything we've got, so it's going to be a great thing for the city.
The new facility is set to open in December of 2025. Reporting in North Augusta, Taylor Martin on your side.
It has come a long way. Also new tonight, Augusta's Mayor Garnet Johnson.
The SPCA is packed to the brim with pets right now, and if things don't turn around soon, some animals may be turned away. How you can help next at 6 o'clock.
And we've enjoyed cooler than average temperatures over the last couple of days, but that is changing heading into the weekend. We'll have that full forecast next. Looking dry tomorrow, but storm chances with us Sunday all the way through next Friday.
The SPCA Albrecht Center says they might have to stop taking in new animals soon because they are packed over capacity. There are no kill shelters, so the only way to get animals out is through adoption or fostering.
So they believe the problem is caused by a lack of spay and neuters and owners just having to give up their pets. Will Vogue stop by to give us a closer look?
We're reaching the point we're about to exceed our capacity of care.
Cammy Vogel says this is almost as bad as it gets. The halls of the SPCA Albrecht Center are filled with animals.
They can't help themselves, so it's our responsibility to do everything we can to help them.
But that hasn't been easy lately. There's no more room on the adoption floor. She says they have about 100 more animals than they can comfortably take care of.
They're not able to give as much individual care to the animals as we would like. For animals, that means they're more likely to get sick when we have to keep large numbers of animals in close quarters.
With many animals waiting in the back for their chance on the adoption floor, Vogel says it hurts their chances of getting adopted.
We're seeing longer stays. We're seeing an increase in behaviors because the dogs are getting bored, they're getting stressed.
She hopes they can get more of these animals out of the shelter. If they don't, they might have to stop bringing in new ones soon.
That is an absolute last resort for us. It is very important to us that we remain a resource for our community and for the animals that live here.
In Aiken, we'll vote on your side.
And to help them clear up some space, Vogel says you could foster an animal for free. They'll give you everything you need. You just provide a temporary home.
And a lot of adoption fees are being reduced right now. You can take a dog out for a day, maybe spend some time with it before bringing them back. They're making it really easy to help them out.
Poor little guys, yeah.
Well, we're exactly all 14 days away from the start of the high school football season. Hard to believe it's back. Thompson and Evans hitting the grass tonight for a scrimmage over at the Brickyard. We're going to hear from Thompson head coach Michael Youngblood next in sports.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Get your calendars out, everybody, because we're exactly 2 weeks away from the start of high school football season. With the final days of preseason, meaning more and more with each passing day, players and coaches still have the chance to look in the mirror, find out what they can do to get the most out of themselves and their teams as a whole, so they can be the last ones standing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in December, holding a state championship trophy. The defending Class 2A state champion, Thompson Bulldogs, know a thing or two about reaching the mountaintop, and tonight they're putting their talents to the test in a scrimmage against the Evans Knights at the Brickyard.
You can go practice all day long, but you really can't see it until you go against someone else. So Evans is a good matchup for us to kind of see, where we at conditioning level, where we at from a physicality standpoint, where we at in the pass game and in the run game, and things that we got to do defensively so that we feel like we can be successful on this season.
Thompson and Evans hit the grass at 7:30 at the Brickyard, and you can catch our full 30-minute interview with Coach Youngblood on the WRDW News 12 YouTube page. Let's get to the show where the Braves are in Chicago for a weekend series with the Cubbies. Atlanta's offense exploded in the fourth inning for 6 runs and had 3 homers along the way. The Braves made quick work of the Cubs in this one, 8-0. And when I say that, I mean it, because this ball game was 2 hours and 10 minutes long, which is really fast.
Love to see a Braves on a roll there. Dan, thanks a lot. Now, back on the topic of school, Columbia County schools seem to be moving out of their bus driver shortage. The district says they have just enough drivers compared to last year. They had 30 openings last year.
Yeah, now they're looking to hire backup drivers. Our Nick Veland says the newly added benefits for drivers might be the solution.
Buses are back running, but do places have enough drivers to cover all of the routes? So the Columbia County School District says that they do, adding more incentives over the summer for these drivers, but the drivers say that there's more to it.
And it's just overall just watching them grow and learn and do better is what does it for me.
Cheryl Levington has been driving buses since they were stick shifts. She says the job is more than what people see.
Listen to them, we care for them, we have Band-Aids for their boo-boos, and we talk to them. Sometimes they don't have anyone to talk to. It's pretty huge, so it makes you feel needed.
And now going into the school year with a growing population, the district says that they have enough drivers to cover every route.
I have new faces, like I was saying. I have a couple of new stops because this county is growing like crazy. So we always are adding new stops, adding more students, adding another bus.
Drivers have extra benefits this year after Governor Kemp increased salaries by 5%, also helping teachers with $2,000 raises.
It draws attention to the teaching profession in general. We hope to continue that he will continue to do that, because it is a tremendous service what these teachers do. And this profession, this industry, I think is just one of the best things that anybody can be a part of.
The district says that they have 20 unfilled teaching positions, mainly for special education roles.
That population seems to be growing, and those professionals aren't in the quantity that we like, but we're in a good position.
And the district says that they're still looking to hire bus drivers, and over this next year, they're looking to hire 250 teachers for next school year. In Columbia County, Nick Veland on your side.
And if you're interested in a job with the district, we'll have a link on our website.
From a Netflix documentary to daily national headlines, the story of Alec Murdaugh, convicted of killing his wife and son to cover financial crimes, captured everyone's attention. Becky Hill had a front row seat as clerk of court in Colleton County. She was with those jurors when they toured the crime scene at Moselle.
That was a day that I'll never forget. Going onto that property and just the beautifulness of it first. It was just vast, and you could just see at one point that it had been taken care of. It was such a good place to come to. It had everything you can imagine to be on that property. But on that property, on that day, there was a heaviness.
You can watch my latest one-on-one interview with Becky Hill Sunday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then online after that, WRDW.com. Just look for the one-on-one tab.
Well, if you have a tea time for the weekend, tomorrow looks dry, but it is going to be a lot hotter for those late tea times in the afternoon. Highs will be back into the 90s for your Saturday and Sunday. Now look at the full 7-day forecast just after the break.